And welcome everyone to your church of heavy metal that is Thunderdome Metal Reviews. It is October officially now, and we are continuing our spooktacular journey through the discography of Gwar. I am the Reverend Ben Dangerously. With me as always are Dr. David Pizzo, Tracy the Chicken Slaughterer in Newport, and special featured artist Gabe Cooper, who we often give short shrift because he's also a doctor. I don't know why we don't want to call him Dr. Cooper. Anyway, gentlemen, how are you doing tonight?
Doing pretty good.
Moving forwards.
Onward and upward.
Onward and upward it is. Well, let's get right into it then. We are reviewing We Kill Everything, the 7th studio album from Gwar, released on April 6th of 1999 on Metal Blade Records, produced by Gwar, Grant Rutledge, and Mark Milley. Runtime of 54 minutes and 51 seconds. The band is Dave Brocky, Odorous Urungus on lead vocals, Tim Harris, Flatus Maximus lead guitar, backing vocals, Mike Dirts, Ballsack the Jaws of Death, rhythm guitar, backing vocals, and lead vocals on Mary Ann, Mike Bishop as Beefcake the Mighty on bass and backing vocals, Brad Roberts, Jizmac the Gusha on drums and percussion, Hunter Jackson as Scrota Moon, lead vocals on Tune from the Moon and Jiggle the Handle, Danielle Stamp, Sylvester Hyman on lead vocals on My Girly Ways and Jiggle the Handle, and Bob Gorman, Portal Potty, additional vocals on Jiggle the Handle, although uncredited. What can we say about this album, gentlemen?
What the fuck?
You're welcome, Tracy.
This album, oh God.
Oops. I mean, I bought it at the time. I was like, hell yeah, Gwar, because Carnival Chaos was still okay. And this album, I don't know, man. It from moment one, shit kind of goes off the rails.
A little bit.
The close is okay in a way that's so ludicrous that, I mean, I guess that's the only way it could end.
I mean, it's still Gwar, so there still are some moments, but it's
Indeed.
like they felt personally challenged by the fact that some of their fans were like, the last album wasn't vulgar. And they're like, oh, you want something vulgar.
Yeah,
That's what happened.
Challenge personally.
That's one of the things I heard. How true that is, I don't know. But that is one of the rumors that I heard about why this is what it is.
So just start the album with Baby Ray.
It was an accident. I think that was entirely on purpose. All right, fine. Let's see if you can hang. You can make it the first song.
I don't know if they were trying to like respond to fan requests or to be more vulgar, but certainly this was part of their ongoing war of attrition against their own label and against the record industry generally, how far they could push it. So, I mean, they pushed it too far on, what was it, This Toilet Earth, and shit got censored. So they did it again here, and there was an attempt to censor it, but it went through anyway. But also, apparently, like, Odorous wrote less of it. He was not pleased with this direction. If what people say when violence has arrived comes out is to be believed. I'm the one who argued for Gwar. I liked Ragnarok's whimsy. This is like if you have heavy unwanted whimsy on the other, this like Kool-Aid pitchers through the wall of whimsy into just what the fuck country, I guess. I don't know. It's too far. They went all the way, Ben.
It reminds me of that saying from Tropic Thunder. But
I wasn't going to say it, but yes, that was what was on. That is what I'm thinking here. I'm like, you never go all the way like this, is it, Dad?
Yeah. Like, instead of this thing just losing, instead of getting funnier and whatever, and having that touch of whimsy with it, it turns into like the over the top shitty comedy movies that really like knock off remakes, imitations of every other movie in the mid 2000s that just were not that great.
Yeah, I think the thing that I could say that I still liked about this album is that there is some storytelling and there are some epic moments on it, musically speaking. There are not that many, but they're there. And the thing that, the sort of bad thing that pervades through multiple tracks is gay bashing, and it's just so stupid and pointless. And brings down the album to a great degree.
I cannot disagree with that. This was, if it wasn't for the albums that come next, which we'll get to in this recording, not to spoil it, but I mean, we are on this train for the entire month, so there's still quite a bit of Gwar to go. This would be the jump the shark moment, because this is like they became a parody of themselves. And I don't know what happened. I don't know whether it was the fact that Brocky didn't have as much to do with the writing, or they were really mad at their label, even though their label had supported them the first time that they'd got censored. Metal played part of it anyway. Or what? I mean, or the fact that there was some pushback from fans that the last album had not been as offensive as the last. But whatever, they turned all that shit to 11 on this, and I could have done without.
They did, and I agree. It's stupidly and pointlessly homophobic in a way that there's a little bit of it in the later ones, but not like this one. And I'm not sure what switch flips between this one and the album 2 years later.
They listened to the album.
I get, yeah, they themselves, I'm sure you all read what I read, really hate this album. Like, they barely play any of it. Odorous absolutely hates it.
Yeah.
Oh, they banned mentioning it on their website at one point. I mean, it's like an abomination as recognized by even them. And who knows, you know, Dave Brocky's drug use, of course, went up and down and up and down. I don't know where in the, you know, sine curve of Dave's crack use where this fell. Allegedly, one peak was Carnival of Chaos. I don't know where he was here, but I don't know. And somebody, maybe a producer could have reined them in. That clearly didn't happen here, right? Because that's you need that sometimes. I mean, I don't want Ross Robinson, who they probably would have just sawed in half, but you know, somebody has to rein this shit in. It just went too far, and no one did. And this is what happens. It's like I don't know if any of you have seen the making of Apocalypse Now. And he's like, we had too much money, too much equipment, and little by little we slowly went insane. I mean, that seems to be what happened here. And the album as a whole is not that good. Indeed, it is one of the only ones that after I listened to it for a little bit, I'm like, all right, I'm done with this shit. With the exception, there's like a couple songs I was like, haha, that's kind of funny. But the rest of this album, I was done with. And I agree with you. If this is where Gwar had ended, I would have been done.
Yeah, no doubt. You know, and to Gabe's point about storytelling, there is storytelling on this album, but it's one of the weaker storytelling albums so far, because it doesn't seem like they had I don't get a sense that there definitely, I don't think, was a movie for this, and I don't have a sense that they really developed a stage show for it either. So it's just kind of, and in some ways, an album of filler ideas that were never really incorporated into the canon.
There was a stage show, and they hated it and never reused any of it ever again. There are pieces of it, and it's the tail end of the arc from Scumdogs. In some ways, this could have been a really important moment for the plot, right? This is when their, you know, surf lord comes finally to reclaim them, and it could have been like origin story shit, but no, it's just a hot damn mess. And just like, you know, I mean, Cardinals Inn and all them or Grambo were sort of silly, but they were kind of terrifying. But this toilet thing, it just no. I agree with you, Ben. It's a parody of what was already a parody.
Yeah.
Well, I want to give them props for kind of using the instrumentation in this album. Like, here's some trumpets and some horn, and that's kind of neat and kind of, but just getting past the subject matter of a lot of these songs and just the sheer like what the fuck is just makes it hard to listen to this album.
Well, in some ways, that's the brilliance of Gwar, is that they can take these objectively horrible topic songs and make them catchy. Because there's songs on here that I don't like, that I found myself like tapping my foot to the music, because the music was good.
Oh gosh, yes. I mean, Fish Fuck, classic. I mean, some of them are really sort of catchy in a jingle sort of way.
Yes.
Which itself is problematic.
For sure. Anyway, this is the low point thus far in the discography for me.
I think it's the low point, period.
I got a feeling that you're right, but I'm just, you know, there's still some albums that we have on the docket that I haven't listened to. Shall we get into songs, or does anyone have anything else they would like to say about this one? Silence is consent to move forward in this instance. Tracks, man, this is going to be a short discussion, and I guess I can go first. Really, the only ones the best track on the album, in my opinion, is Nigel Burnen's "Funny Bong," and it's one of the most ludicrous songs on here. But man, is it catchy, and I just really do like it.
It's the one that Dave Brocky hated the most.
Probably.
He said he did. That's like his least favorite song I ever wrote.
But part of it is because I do kind of like that, Nashville pussy kind of, can't even think of the term for it, but that kind of thing, and it kind of fits into that. I liked the instrumental, A Short History of the End of the World, Part 7, the final chapter abbreviated. Just the ludicrousness of that. Escape from the Moose Lodge, Tune from the Moon. But the rest of this is just kind of like, come on, guys.
It opens with Baby Raper. Moves on to Fish Fuck.
Can only go up from there, right?
I guess so, except it kind of doesn't. Like I like My Girly Ways just because I like Mr. Hyman. I think We Kill Everything is okay and sort of closes out that plot line. And for all its magic, I think Fucking an Animal is better than the opener, or most of the tracks actually. But that's it. What did I just name? 3? And usually I like 2/3 of this or most of it. Not on here, man. This instrumental. This is the only instrumental, as far as I know, that's on any of their albums. It's okay too. So I agree with that. But the rest of this shit, no, man.
I guess go ahead, Tracy.
You go ahead.
All right. So I think I liked some of the same tracks as y'all did. The first track actually kind of reminds me of Sailor Man by Turbo Negro. You guys know Turbo Negro? Anyway, it's an alright tune aside from the content and the puking noises. I think it's totally functional. Short History of the End of the World, I liked. Escape from the Moose Lodge, I also liked. Again, there's some storytelling, there's some epicness there. I also thought We Kill Everything is pretty silly, but also has its own epic quality to it. And Marianne, I mean, why not? But yeah, not a whole lot to like here. And apart from the gay bashing, there's also just references to, retarded kids, which is not the best. I think they could have done a lot better.
I'm gonna agree with you guys. I mean, this album is not a lot of good tracks on this album. I think Nitro Burn and Phony Bong, it's good in that kind of Nashville pussy sense that Ben was talking about. I like Margaret Ways. I enjoy her parts in it. And like David's Fucking Animal, it's just so over the top. It's hilarious. And I feel like they do at the end of that song.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, this really seems like a throwback to the early days of the band, and then it kind of punches down and it's regressive in a way that as a teenager I probably would have liked more, but hearing this in my 40s was just kind of like, no, thank you.
I didn't even like it in my 20s, man. It was just it had all gone wrong.
Yeah,
and I was like, well, I guess Gwar is fucking out of gas, and then things get better.
They do. So we'll go to grades. I'll go first. I'm going to give this the lowest C-. I don't want to give it a D because I do think that some of the tracks are very clever. And overall, the experience of Gwar, I mean, at some points, the transgressiveness is the point, and I can see that from an artistic standpoint, but it's not something that I would ever want to listen to again.
I'll go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and give this a 72. There are a couple of tracks that I can stand on here, but the rest can, I wouldn't mind never hearing.
You all know I love Gwar a lot, but man, even with and I'm probably the most notorious of all of you about brand loyalty. The most I can squeeze out for this is a C. Like there's a few tracks I like, and even that's being charitable. So C.
I'm going to be probably harsher with you guys because I dislike this album a lot more than I did Carnival of Chaos, and I gave Carnival of Chaos a C minus, so I'm just going to have to give it a D. Just put it in its place.
I'm right there with you, man. But I don't think that it's all filler. There are a couple of tracks that I enjoyed, so I'm going to give it a C minus.
Well,
But-
it's 60 minutes, and the two good tracks on this album take up
Yeah,
6 minutes. So it's 1/10 of this album's worth of damn, 90% of it's garbage. So I
For
mean,
sure.
So I
No,
feel like it's
that's-
a D.
no,
I feel like
you're right. I'm not complaining.
I mean,
I-
they failed the exam.
Yes,
But, you know,
they failed the exam, but we want to get them out of the class. So it's like, fine.
we don't want
I'm
to have
not-
them next year.
Yeah, you don't want to
I'm-
teach Gwar next year, Tracy.
Yeah, definitely not.
don't.
Not this
Especially-
iteration of Gwar at all.
No.
Anyway, what are we doing next time, my brothers?
Next, we are doing Violence Has Arrived by Gwar, if you did not know that.
That album is much better, everyone.
Yeah,
Yes.
thankfully. All right. Well, thank you for listening to Thunderdome Metal Reviews, and we appreciate you sticking with us to the Spooktacular. You will be glad to know that there are only 6 more Gwar albums to go after this. Hoorah!
Just 6 more. That's an
You
eternity in hell.
You can do it. And well, part of that also for the people who watch on YouTube is going to be on the audio only. So if you want to hear us wrap up, we will be doing one of our monthly blasts. It will be on Gwar that will be released on Halloween. It's a special episode. So be sure to look us up where you listen to podcasts there, because it will not be in the video feed. But anyway, thank you for listening, and we'll catch you next time.